Imagine this. You're facing an eviction, maybe an unfair debt collection, or you need to file a crucial civil lawsuit. But you are completely locked out of the courtroom for one simple reason. You literally just can't scrape together a couple of $100s to file the paperwork. It's a shocking reality. But every single year, thousands of people in Massachusetts find that the high cost of court fees is a massive brick wall blocking their access to justice. Well, today, we are going to master a powerful legal tool designed specifically to tear that wall right down. Listen to this quote for a second. The constitutional imperative behind the Massachusetts Indigent Court Costs Law is crystal clear. Justice shouldn't have a price tag. The law we are diving into today, Chapter 261 of the Massachusetts General Laws, exists for one specific reason, so that your financial capacity does absolutely not dictate your legal rights. Here is a quick look at our agenda for today's explainer. We'll be running through the high cost of justice, who qualifies for a waiver, exactly how to complete the forms, the step-by-step filing process, overcoming common challenges, and finally, approval and next steps. Let's get into it. Section 1, the high cost of justice. Let's look at what we're actually up against here. Okay, so the state basically drops court costs into two big buckets. First, we have what they call normal fees. Just getting your civil case on the docket in district court can easily cost you $135 or more. And that includes initial filing fees, surcharges, and the cost of having a sheriff serve the summons papers. Then you've got extra fees. These are the costs that pop up as your case rolls on, like paying for expert witnesses, securing appeal bonds, or even getting typed transcripts of a trial. Now, the fee waiver can actually apply to both of these buckets. But hey, here is a vital practical tip right off the bat. There is absolutely zero fee to simply file an answer to a lawsuit against you. So if you're just responding to someone else suing you, you don't even need a waiver, because responding is totally free.
Moving on to Section 2, who actually qualifies for a waiver? Let's break down the eligibility categories. The law sets up three distinct lanes for eligibility. Category A is definitely the most straightforward. You automatically qualify if you're receiving public assistance. We're talking Mass Health, SSI, veterans benefits, or transitional aid to families with dependent children. If you don't get those benefits, no problem. You just look to Category B. You qualify here if your household income after taxes is at or below 125% of the federal poverty line, and the court updates that chart every single year. Finally, we have Category C, which is really the safety net. You qualify under C if paying the court fees would mean depriving yourself or your dependents of the basic necessities of life. Think about it like this. If you have to choose between paying a filing fee and paying your rent or buying groceries, your income is low enough to qualify under Category C.
All right, Section 3, completing the required forms. It's time to look at the actual paperwork.
The main form you're going to use is called the Affidavit of Indigency. Now keep in mind, this is a sworn statement under penalty of perjury. In Section 1, you literally just check the box for Category A, B, or C that best fits your situation. Remember, you only check one box. If you check A, just write down which public benefit you receive. If you check B, you write in your after-tax income and your household size. Pretty simple, right? Now, if you had to check Category C because you don't fit into A or B, but you still can't afford the fees without sacrificing those basic necessities, there's a little extra homework. You also have to fill out the supplement to the Affidavit of Indigency. This supplement is basically a detailed financial snapshot. You're going to need to list your exact gross income, the taxes deducted from your pay, your assets like a car or bank accounts, and all your monthly expenses, rent, food, electricity, childcare, the whole shebang. You absolutely must be completely honest and thorough here, because this is exactly how you prove to the court why paying that fee would cause you severe financial hardship. Let's jump to Section 4. The step-by-step filing process. How do we actually get this thing filed? Step 1 is a breeze. Get the form. You can grab a physical copy right from the clerk's office at any Massachusetts state court or just download it straight from mass.gov. Honestly, there's even a really cool online tool by Suffolk Lit Lab that just asks you a few questions and fills the whole form out for you. Step 2, as we just covered, is filling it out accurately and signing it. But listen up, because the absolute most crucial part of this entire process is Step 3. You must hand the clerk your fee waiver application at the exact same time you hand them your lawsuit or court papers. The law actually says the clerk has to conditionally receive your complaint, basically acting as if the fees are already paid while your waiver is being reviewed. Do not let a clerk turn you away just because you don't have cash in hand. If you have the affidavit, they have to process it. Now, you might be wondering, what if I'm filing electronically through eFileMA? How do I get past the digital paywall? Don't worry, it's actually built right into the system.
When you're checking out, you simply select Waiver account as your payment method. You'll upload your completed affidavit as one of your documents, and the system lets your submission go right through without ever asking for a credit card. Section 5. Overcoming application challenges. Because let's be real, sometimes you hit a speed bump.
So, the level of scrutiny your application gets really depends entirely on which category you checked. If you checked A or B, the law says that if the affidavit looks complete, the clerk shall grant the request forthwith without a hearing. Honestly, it's usually automatic and you don't need to show physical proof right there at the window. But Category C? That's a bit different. Because Category C requires a judgment call about your necessities of life, the clerk might actually hand your application over to a judge for review. So here's a major expert tip. If you're filing under Category C, come prepared. Bring physical documentation with you to the courthouse. I'm talking recent pay stubs, rent receipts, utility bills, medical bills. If a judge pulls you in to ask questions, having those receipts literally in your hand makes proving your hardship incredibly straightforward. Okay, but what happens if things don't go smoothly and the clerk denies it? Well, they actually can't just say no and send you home. By law, they have to bring it to a judge for immediate review. And if the judge looks at it and still has serious questions about your financial situation, you have the right to a hearing, and they have to hold it within 5 days. Also, keep in mind, it's not always an all-or-nothing deal. After a hearing, a judge might look at your finances and say, okay, you can't afford the full $135, but you could reasonably afford $50. They can totally order a reasonable partial payment. And if they do deny the waiver entirely or make you pay a portion, the judge is legally required to give you written findings justifying their decision within 3 days.
All right, Section 6, approval, next steps, and our disclaimer. We are in the home stretch. A lot of people get super nervous about sharing this kind of stuff, but a really important protection is the Supreme Judicial Court order printed right on the form itself. It explicitly states that all the information in your affidavit is strictly confidential. You don't have to worry about everyone seeing your private income details, your public assistance status, or your debts. It's protected. Unless a court gives a special order, it absolutely cannot be disclosed to anyone other than authorized court personnel, you, and your attorney. It does not just become a piece of the public court record that anyone off the street can read. So we've seen how accessible and highly structured this whole process is. Whether you're dealing with an eviction, filing a civil suit, or trying to get a trial transcript, this system is literally built to make sure you get your day in court, no matter what your bank account looks like. So I want to leave you with this question. Are court fees stopping you from protecting your rights today? If the answer is yes, please do not let a filing fee dictate your access to justice. Take that first step, go online or head down to your local courthouse and get that affidavit of indigency today. And finally, before we wrap up, please remember that this explainer is strictly meant to provide general educational information based on Massachusetts statutes and court rules. It is absolutely not intended to be formal legal advice. Every single legal situation is unique, and the consequences of legal actions are serious. So, for sure, always consult a qualified legal professional to get personalized guidance regarding the specifics of your own unique case. Thanks for joining us.